what are your thoughts on drug legalization? What drugs should be legalized and why?
Drug legalization in this country is long overdue. I wouldn't say across the board because there are a lot of drugs that are dangerous, like heroin, for instance. Uh, I have always been for the legalization of marijuana, mostly because
Really?
yes, but mostly because it's no different from not much different from alcohol, and socially, it's always pretty much been accepted, and there is justification for medical marijuana, and I think the resources that the government and the police department put into trying to eradicate it is pointless, and it's just a waste of money. And it's money that we could use for drug rehabilitation for more serious drugs. These are, and it's been proven, just like in Colorado, how beneficial it is to our economics. And to me, it still takes some of the money out of the hands of the drug lords and the drug cartels.
Well, the only reason that I would be in favor of legalizing more hardcore drugs is due to the fact that the amount of money, the profit motive from, shipping from, let's say, Peru to once it gets north of the Rio Grande, like a brick of cocaine down there costs like $100, but once it gets north of here, it skyrockets to $50,000, $100,000. So I think that if you legalize more of the hardcore drugs and regulated it, you could cut down on the overdoses. You can definitely take a chunk out of the money out of the cartel's pockets. And I mean, because people are going to do these drugs regardless. And I think that
Yes.
it's easy. I think it's easier to get like a cokehead or a heroin addict off the drugs if you slowly wean them off of it instead of just having them go cold turkey. That's just my take on it.
Well, I guess I'm just a little old school in that sense that I have a fear of the harder drugs because I've seen the devastation that it causes. Even something like cocaine. 'Cause I still remember the Cleveland Browns had a fantastic young free safety.
The Cleveland Browns were a good team at one point.
At one point, the Cleveland Browns were an excellent football team. Before they moved to Baltimore, they were an excellent football team, a perennial playoff team.
The playoffs.
Oh yeah, playoffs. Yeah, the Browns were always in the
new
playoffs.
every day.
But I think his name was Don Rogers. I'm pretty sure his name was Don Rogers. He was having a bachelor party. He was going to be married the next day, and he was having a bachelor party, and he used cocaine, and he died of a cocaine overdose. Same thing happened to a young prospect by the name of Lynn Bias, who was a first-round draft pick from the Boston Celtics. Exact same thing. And these were perfectly healthy, young, strong men. And they had done cocaine before. Those types of incidences with that drug, that just frightened me. Because I always had heard of it without having used cocaine, but I had heard that it was just a stimulant. And I just had the fear of putting stuff up my nose. That just seems so unnatural to sniff stuff up your nose. I mean, where else in life do people do that? They go around and sniff stuff up their nose. But seeing these people just die like that, it's like, man, I don't know if I want to do that drug. It's like, you're snorting coke one minute, next thing you know, you're convulsing and the dude's gone. Weed, you smoke it, and when you reach a certain level, you put it down. People didn't die of weed overdoses. And things that you can die from taking too much, like pills, like cocaine, things like that. To me, it's like you're playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
that's why I have a hard time with the legalization of things like heroin, cocaine. These have been proven that they can kill you.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. People have died from it. I've never heard of someone ODing on marijuana before.
Actually, I heard that you could die from marijuana due to the lack of oxygen. If and this is like you have to smoke like 1,000 something blunts, like an insane amount.
Yeah.
Because they try to do like research with mice, and it was just an insane amount of like marijuana, but they didn't die from the marijuana. They died due to lack of oxygen and but even I mean.
But the thing is too, anything in life that we consume almost, and I'm sure you've heard of alcohol poisoning.
Oh yeah,
it's legal, but that's the whole point I'm making is the fact that anything in large amounts can kill you. Salt that you can buy that you use to season your food, you eat too much of it, it'll kill you.
Yeah. I mean, I saw someone when I lived in the dorms at the University of Akron freshman year. I mean, I saw a dude. They had to call the cops because he stayed in the dorm room across from me, and I peeked my house at the door, and he was literally just puke was everywhere. He he couldn't even walk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think that on college campuses alcoholism is very, very prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I drink one shot. I'm I have my little buzz and that's it. But some people, it's just
It's, well, you're like me. It's like I can, if I'm out or partying or something, I'll probably never consume more than 4 alcoholic beverages in an evening or an outing. If I'm driving, it's going to be less.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm attending a party, I could be at a party for 6 hours. In that 6-hour time, I still wouldn't consume more than 4 drinks. Because I don't like not being in control of myself.
That's exactly how I feel.
I just don't like it, and it's just, I don't know. I guess a lot of it's embarrassing, to be someplace and you are
puking on yourself,
not in control of your bodily functions.
Exactly.
That's just, to me, it's a sign of immaturity for one, or you have a serious alcohol problem.
Yeah.
But